On the distant planet Verta, the sun rose over wide fields of green, spreading soft light across the settlements. Verta was a young world for humans, yet it already carried the promise of life. Its soil was rich, its air crisp, and the settlers had begun to shape it into gardens, parks, and homes. Among the settlers, many were scientists and engineers, but there were also dreamers, people who wanted to live close to nature. Lena was one of them. She had come to Verta as a botanist, fascinated by plants and their secrets. She loved walking through the valleys and forests, feeling the wind through her hair and the soft soil under her boots. The gardens of Verta were unlike anything on Earth. Some plants glowed faintly at night, others changed colors with the seasons, and some moved slowly as if alive. Lena spent most of her days studying these plants, taking notes and sketches, but she always hoped to find something extraordinary. One morning, Lena set out early, carrying her tools and a small bag of food. The mist still hovered over the valleys, and the soft chirping of strange birds filled the air. She wandered further than usual, drawn by curiosity and the sense that today might be different. Her boots pressed softly against the wet grass as she followed a small stream, its water sparkling in the first light. After a while, she noticed a narrow path, overgrown with vines and moss. It seemed almost hidden, as if nature itself wanted to protect it. Lena brushed aside the leaves and stepped carefully, her heart beating faster. The path led her to a small, secluded garden, surrounded by rocks and tall trees. In the center of the garden, a single plant stood, unlike any she had ever seen. It was small but glowing faintly with a soft, golden light. Its leaves were translucent, shimmering with colors that seemed to shift and dance. Lena knelt down to observe it closely. She reached out her hand, but before she touched it, the leaves quivered. It was as if the plant sensed her presence. Lena felt a thrill of excitement. This was no ordinary plant. "Hello there," she whispered, half to herself. She did not expect an answer, yet the leaves seemed to lean toward her. Lena's mind raced with possibilities. Could it be sentient? Was it responding to her curiosity, her calm and gentle energy? She carefully took out her notebook and began to sketch the plant, noting the shapes, the colors, the way it moved. Hours passed, and Lena forgot the time. She brought water and observed how the plant reacted. When she hummed a soft tune, the leaves swayed gently, almost as if dancing to her melody. She laughed softly, amazed. "You are extraordinary," she said, her eyes shining with wonder. For the first time, she felt a connection, a quiet understanding that went beyond words. As Lena left the hidden garden, she thought about how to share her discovery. She knew the settlers would be curious, but she also worried about what might happen if people tried to take the plant or harm it. Its glow faded as the sun climbed higher, but the memory of it stayed bright in her mind. She decided to return the next day, to learn more, and to protect the secret of the garden. That evening, back at her small cabin, Lena could not stop thinking about the plant. She prepared her tools, sketches, and notebooks for tomorrow. She felt a strange mix of excitement and responsibility. This plant could be a key to understanding the life of Verta in ways no one had yet imagined. Morrow, a gardener and engineer who worked nearby, noticed her excitement the next morning. "You look like you've seen something amazing," he said, smiling. Lena hesitated but then decided to tell him. "I found a plant," she said, "a plant that glows, and seems to respond to emotions." Morrow's eyes widened. "That's incredible. But also dangerous if the wrong people hear about it?" Lena nodded. She realized she would need help, someone she could trust to study and protect the plant. Together, they planned to return to the hidden garden. As they walked back toward the valley, Lena felt a warmth in her chest, a mix of curiosity and joy. She did not know what secrets the plant held, or how it would change life on Verta, but she felt certain of one thing: she had discovered something extraordinary, something that could connect humans and nature in a way never seen before. And in the quiet of that hidden garden, under the golden glow of the mysterious plant, Lena felt the first spark of a bond that could grow stronger than anyone could imagine. The morning sun painted the valley of Verta in soft gold. Lena packed her bag carefully, making sure to bring water, notebooks, and a few small tools. Today, she was returning to the hidden garden, the secret place where the glowing plant waited. She felt a flutter of excitement in her chest, a mix of curiosity and hope. When she arrived at the narrow path, she saw Morrow waiting. He had a gentle smile and carried some equipment to help study the plant safely. "I thought I could help," he said. "If this plant is special, it deserves care." Lena nodded, grateful. She had learned that some discoveries could be fragile, and having someone she trusted was important. They stepped carefully into the garden. The plant was already glowing faintly, its light pulsing as if it knew they were there. Lena's heart raced. She approached slowly, extending her hand. The leaves quivered, leaning toward her. Morrow crouched nearby, watching in awe. "It responds to you," he whispered. "I've never seen anything like this." Lena smiled. "It's almost like it knows us, like it understands what we feel." She hummed a soft melody, a tune she often sang while working in the gardens. Slowly, the plant's leaves began to sway in rhythm with her song. Morrow gently clapped his hands in delight. Over the next few hours, Lena and Morrow observed the plant closely. They discovered it reacted not only to sounds but also to emotions. When Lena felt calm, the leaves opened wide, showing bright colors inside. When she felt nervous or unsure, the plant's glow dimmed slightly. Morrow tried a small experiment, telling a joyful story, and the plant seemed to lean toward him, its glow strengthening. "This is amazing," Morrow said. "It's not just alive, it's aware. It's learning from us, or maybe sharing something with us." Lena nodded. "I think it wants to connect. It wants to be understood." The thought filled her with wonder. She had spent her life studying plants, but never had she felt such a direct connection with one. They decided to create a small protective dome around the plant. Lena carefully measured the area while Morrow assembled the lightweight frame. They wanted to make sure the plant was safe from weather, insects, or curious settlers who might stumble upon it. Once the dome was in place, Lena placed soft soil and small decorations inside, making it feel like a cozy home. For days, Lena returned to the garden, spending hours with the plant. She learned to communicate in subtle ways through her voice, gestures, and even the feelings she carried in her mind. Morrow helped her document everything, writing notes about its responses and drawing detailed sketches. The plant continued to surprise them, moving its leaves to touch Morrow's hand lightly or adjusting its glow to match Lena's emotions. One afternoon, Lena had an idea. She gently played a melody on a small flute. The sound was soft, flowing through the air. The plant responded immediately, swaying as if dancing. Lena laughed, feeling pure joy. "It loves music," she said. Morrow joined in, clapping softly to create rhythm. Together, they discovered that the plant seemed to understand cooperation and harmony, responding more strongly when both humans interacted with care. As days turned into weeks, the bond between the plant and the two humans grew. Lena noticed that it began producing tiny buds, shimmering with light. She touched one gently, feeling warmth in her hand. "These might be new seeds," she whispered. "Or something even more remarkable." Morrow's eyes widened. "If we can help it grow safely, this garden could be extraordinary." The hidden garden became their secret world. Lena and Morrow shared stories, songs, and quiet moments among the plants. They talked about the future, imagining a place where humans and nature could work together in harmony. The glowing plant became a symbol of their hope, a living reminder that life on Verta was not just survival, it was connection, curiosity, and care. But Lena also felt a small worry. Others would notice something unusual soon, she knew. She worried about people who might not understand or who would want to take the plant for themselves. For now, though, she focused on the present, on the gentle sway of the glowing leaves and the warmth she felt from their silent connection. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Lena sat beside the plant, feeling a calm happiness. Morrow joined her, and together they watched the light shift in soft golden patterns. "It's like it's alive in more ways than we know," Morrow said softly. Lena nodded. "And maybe, it is teaching us something, too. About patience, care, and respect." In that quiet moment, the hidden garden felt like a world apart, a place where humans and nature spoke without words. Lena understood that this was only the beginning. The glowing plant had chosen to connect with them, and in return, they promised to protect it, learn from it, and let it flourish. And somewhere deep in the garden, the plant glowed brighter, as if smiling, as if knowing that its new friends had the hearts to care for it and to grow together in harmony. The hidden garden on Verta had become a place of wonder. Lena and Morrow spent almost every day there, studying the glowing plant and learning more about its reactions. But as the weeks passed, Lena began to notice subtle changes in the surrounding plants. Flowers in nearby patches swayed more than usual, and small vines seemed to stretch toward the glowing plant, almost as if drawn by its energy. One afternoon, Lena knelt beside a patch of grass and noticed tiny leaves curling strangely. "Morrow, look at this," she said, pointing. Morrow leaned closer, his brow furrowed. "It's as if the garden itself is responding to the glowing plant," he said softly. Lena felt a chill. While the plant's presence was beautiful, it was also powerful, and they did not yet understand its full influence. As they discussed this, a small group of settlers appeared at the edge of the garden. Lena's heart skipped a beat. They had come closer than anyone had before. The settlers were scientists and traders from other parts of Verta, curious about reports of strange glowing plants. Lena and Morrow froze, unsure what to say. One of the settlers, a tall man named Doran, stepped forward. "We heard rumors about something unusual here," he said. "We want to study it. Maybe even take samples back to the main settlement." Lena felt a surge of fear. She shook her head. "This plant isn't just a curiosity. It's alive in ways we don't fully understand." "You can't take it?" Doran's expression hardened. "We are trained in science. We can control it." "You're being foolish." Morrow stepped beside Lena. "It's not just about control," he said firmly. "It's about respect. You can't treat it like an object." The tension grew. The settlers looked around the garden, whispering to each other. Lena felt the glowing plant's light flicker, almost like it was reacting to the fear and conflict. After the group left, Lena and Morrow took a long breath. "We need to protect it," Lena said. "If people don't understand, they might harm it." Morrow nodded. We'll have to be careful. The garden itself seems to respond to the plant, but that could also make it dangerous if disturbed. The next few days were filled with careful observation. Lena noticed that small animals in the garden behaved differently. Birds avoided certain areas, and insects moved more quickly near the glowing plant. Even the weather seemed subtly affected. Clouds gathered at unusual times, and soft breezes shifted unpredictably. Lena and Morrow realized the plant's influence was growing, extending beyond the dome they had built. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Lena touched the plant's glowing leaves. She felt warmth and a faint vibration beneath her fingers. "It's trying to tell us something," she whispered. Morrow placed his hand gently on hers. "We need to listen carefully," he said. "It may be warning us." The very next day, a stronger group of settlers returned, carrying equipment. Lena and Morrow hurried to the garden. They had prepared small barriers and camouflage to hide the plant, but the settlers were persistent. As the humans approached, the glowing plant pulsed brighter, sending waves of light through the dome. Vines shifted, blocking paths and creating natural obstacles. Lena and Morrow watched in amazement. The plant was protecting itself. Doran, frustrated, tried to reach the plant, but the glowing energy from the leaves caused his tools to fail. The settlers stepped back, surprised and uneasy. Lena felt a mix of relief and awe. "It's defending itself," she said softly. "It trusts us to protect it, but it's ready to act if threatened." Morrow nodded. "We're not alone in this. The garden is helping us." After the settlers left once more, Lena sat down on a soft patch of moss. "We can't let them try again," she said. "They don't understand. If they take the plant, everything could be lost." Morrow placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we need a plan. We have to keep it safe, and also learn as much as we can. If the plant is growing in ways we don't understand, we need to be ready for what might come next." That night, Lena could not sleep. She thought about the glowing plant and its silent strength. It was more than just a plant, it was alive in ways she had never imagined. She realized that its power was both a gift and a responsibility. Protecting it would require courage, intelligence, and care. As she finally drifted to sleep, Lena dreamt of the garden, of glowing leaves stretching toward the sky, and of a world where humans and nature worked together in harmony. She knew challenges were coming, but she also knew that with Morrow and the bond they shared with the plant, they could face whatever threats lay ahead. The hidden garden had changed. It was no longer just a secret place, it was a living world, full of wonder, mystery, and growing power. And in the quiet night, the glowing plant pulsed softly, as if whispering, "We are together, and together we will endure." Days passed on Verta, and the hidden garden continued to be a place of wonder and quiet mystery. Lena and Morrow returned each morning, eager to study the glowing plant and its unusual behaviors. With every visit, they discovered more about its intelligence and sensitivity. The plant was not only alive in a physical sense, but it also seemed to sense emotions and intentions, responding with subtle movements, changes in light, and soft vibrations that could be felt through the soil. One morning, Lena arrived before Morrow. The air was crisp, and the soft glow of the plant lit the garden like a golden lantern. She knelt beside it and spoke softly, "Good morning. Did you grow while I was gone?" The leaves trembled gently, and a small bud glimmered at the center of the plant. Lena's heart leapt with joy. "You're thriving. You really are special." When Morrow arrived, he carried a small device he had designed to measure the plant's responses to sound and touch. I think it's time we learn how it reacts to music, he said. Lena smiled. She had a small flute in her bag, and together they began experimenting. Lena played a soft melody, the notes floating through the garden like a gentle breeze. Immediately, the plant's glow pulsed in rhythm, and the leaves swayed gracefully. Morrow clapped softly to add rhythm, and the plant responded to the combination of their sounds. It's incredible, Morrow whispered. It's not just reacting, it's communicating through movement and light. Lena nodded. It understands harmony. It responds to cooperation, not just single actions. For hours, they continued to explore, experimenting with different sounds, gentle touches, and even changes in their emotions. The plant reacted more vividly when they were joyful and calm, and dimmed slightly when worry or tension crept in. As the bond grew, Lena noticed something else. The glowing plant was producing tiny fruits that shimmered faintly, each one radiating warmth. Carefully, she touched one, and a soft tingle spread through her fingers. These might be seeds, she said. Or maybe something more, healing. Morrow examined the fruit and suggested they keep it safe, studying it only lightly. Together, they realized that the plant's growth and its fruit were connected to their care, their patience, and their respect for it. The hidden garden became more than a secret laboratory, it became a sanctuary. Lena and Morrow shared quiet moments there, talking, laughing, and reflecting on the beauty of life. Morrow would sometimes tell stories from his childhood on Earth, and Lena would share her dreams for the future of Verda. The plant seemed to respond to these stories, its leaves swaying gently, almost as if it were listening. Lena felt that the plant was teaching them, showing them how life could flourish when nurtured with love and attention. But the beauty of the garden also brought new challenges. As news of the glowing plant spread quietly among the settlers, some came closer, hoping for a glimpse. Lena and Morrow quickly realized they needed to protect the plant while continuing their study. They constructed small paths, gentle barriers, and camouflage to hide it from the casual observer. The plant itself seemed to assist, adjusting its glow and using its leaves to create natural shields. It was clear now that the plant trusted Lena and Morrow completely, and in return, they vowed to care for it with all their hearts. One evening, as the sun dipped low behind the distant hills, Lena sat cross-legged beside the plant. Morrow joined her, holding a small notebook filled with sketches and observations. "Do you think it understands us?" Lena asked quietly. Morrow smiled. "I think it understands more than we realize. It senses care, patience, and harmony. That's why it responds so strongly when we're together." Lena reached out and touched the glowing leaves gently. The warmth spread through her hand and up her arm, filling her with a deep sense of connection. Over the following weeks, they discovered that the plant could even adjust its energy to help heal minor wounds. Lena accidentally cut her finger while trimming a small branch, and when she pressed it gently against the plant, the pain eased, and the small cut began to close faster than expected. Morrow tested it too, scratching his arm lightly. Each time, the plant responded, glowing softly and vibrating gently through the skin. "It's like it shares life energy," Morrow said, astonished. Lena nodded. "It's teaching us that care and harmony can create strength, not just for it, but for us too." By now, Lena and Morrow had formed a strong bond not only with the glowing plant but with each other. Their shared purpose, their shared awe, and their shared responsibility created a deep trust. The hidden garden had become a world apart, a place where humans and nature existed in balance, each learning from the other. As night fell and the first stars appeared in the sky above Verda, the glowing plant pulsed with a gentle golden light. Lena and Morrow sat together, holding hands briefly, watching as the garden seemed to breathe with life. Lena whispered softly, "We're lucky to be part of this. We have something extraordinary here." Morrow nodded, feeling the same sense of wonder. "And we'll protect it, together." In the quiet, the glowing plant shimmered brighter than ever, as if acknowledging their words. It had found companions who understood it, and in turn, it had become a teacher, a guardian, and a friend. Lena and Morrow knew that their journey had only just begun. The bond they shared with the plant was growing, and with it, the promise of something far greater, a future where humans and nature could exist in harmony, and where the passion to care could create miracles. The peaceful rhythm of the hidden garden on Verta was broken one bright morning. Lena and Morrow arrived to find footprints near the entrance, unmistakably human, but larger and heavier than those of the settlers who had visited before. Lena's heart tightened. Something or someone had come close, and it felt different. "Someone new," Morrow said quietly, scanning the surroundings. His eyes narrowed. "And they're looking for the plant." Lena swallowed hard. She had feared this day. Word of the glowing plant was spreading faster than they had realized, and not everyone would treat it with care. As they stepped inside the garden, the plant pulsed brighter, sensing the tension. The air seemed thicker, almost charged with energy. Lena touched the glowing leaves gently. "Stay calm," she whispered. "We have to protect it, but we can't let fear control us." Morrow nodded. "We'll be careful. We can handle this together." By mid-morning, a group of strangers appeared at the edge of the hidden valley. They were dressed in uniform-like suits and carried equipment designed for collecting samples. Their leader, a stern-looking woman named Kara, stepped forward. "We've heard about the plant," she said, her voice firm. "We are authorized to take it for study." "Step aside." Lena's eyes blazed. "You cannot. This plant is alive. It is not an object to take." Morrow stepped beside Lena. "We've been caring for it. It's protected, and it reacts to emotion. You cannot control it with tools or force." Caro laughed softly, but there was a hint of irritation. "We have the technology. We can control it. You are only humans. Step aside." The glowing plant sensed the rising tension and responded immediately. Its leaves quivered violently, the light intensifying until the entire garden seemed bathed in golden brilliance. Vines shot up from the ground, twisting naturally to block the paths. Rocks shifted slightly as if moved by unseen hands. The strangers paused, surprised by the sudden display. Lena stepped forward. "It's protecting itself," she said firmly. "And it trusts us. If you try to harm it, the consequences could be dangerous for you." Morrow added, "This garden is alive. It responds to our intentions. If you act with care, you may witness its beauty. If you act with harm, it will defend itself." The strangers hesitated. Kara frowned, but she did not advance. She signaled her team to stop. "This is unexpected," she said, glancing at the glowing plant and the shifting garden. "It's stronger than we anticipated." Lena nodded, feeling a small relief. The garden itself had become their ally, a living guardian that amplified the plant's protection. Over the next hours, Lena and Morrow worked carefully to guide the strangers away from the glowing plant without provoking conflict. They created subtle paths and diversions using small barriers and natural covers, while the plant adjusted its glow and movements to assist. It seemed aware that Lena and Morrow were protecting it, and it responded with precision, making the garden almost impenetrable. As the group slowly withdrew, Lena whispered to the plant, "You did well. You protected yourself and us." Morrow smiled, placing a hand on Lena's shoulder. "It's incredible," he said. "It's like it knows what we need, and it helps us." Lena nodded. "But this shows us we can't stay hidden forever. We'll need a plan if more people come." That evening, Lena and Morrow sat together beside the glowing plant, reflecting on the day. "We've seen its power," Morrow said quietly, "but we've also seen how fragile this piece is. People don't understand it yet." Lena touched the plant's leaves gently. "It trusts us. That's what matters. As long as we stay patient and careful, we can learn from it and protect it." They also realized the plant's growing strength might attract more attention. It was clear now that its abilities went beyond light and movement. It could influence the garden itself and react to emotions and intentions. Lena felt a mixture of awe and responsibility. This was no ordinary discovery, it was a living being capable of sensing, reacting, and even defending itself. Over the next few days, they strengthened the protective dome and added subtle camouflage. The garden seemed to settle, as if reassured by their care. Small animals returned, flowers bloomed, and the glowing plant pulsed with calm energy. Lena and Morrow knew they had bought themselves time, but the challenges ahead would be greater. As the sun set and golden light bathed the garden, Lena whispered softly, "We are its guardians now, Morrow. We have to be ready for whatever comes next." Morrow nodded, holding her hand. "Together, we can face it. The garden is with us, and so is the plant." The glowing plant shimmered brighter as night fell, its light spreading warmth and calm through the garden. Lena felt hope in her heart. They had faced the first real threat, and together, with the bond they shared with the plant, they had prevailed. But deep inside, she knew this was only the beginning. Verda's hidden garden had become a place of life, wonder, and growing power. And as Lena and Morrow looked at the glowing plant, they understood that protecting it would require courage, intelligence, and a connection deeper than anything they had ever known. The hidden garden had returned to calm after the tense encounter with the outsiders. Lena and Morrow spent the following days observing the glowing plant closely, hoping to learn more about its nature. Every movement, every pulse of light, seemed deliberate, almost as if it was trying to communicate. One afternoon, while Lena traced the delicate patterns of the glowing leaves, she noticed something unusual. Tiny veins in the plant's leaves were shifting in a way that looked like symbols or markings. She leaned closer, her curiosity sparking. "Morrow, look at this," she said, pointing at the intricate patterns. "It's not random. I think it's trying to send a message." Morrow knelt beside her, studying the patterns carefully. "It could be a form of communication," he said softly. "Like a language, but made of light and movement." Lena nodded, feeling a surge of excitement. "We need to observe it closely and see if we can understand what it's saying." For the next several days, they documented every pulse, every change in color, and every leaf movement. They hummed melodies, spoke softly, and even tried gentle gestures to see how the plant would respond. Slowly, a pattern began to emerge. The plant's pulses and leaf movements repeated in sequences that suggested intention. It was more than reactive, it was instructive. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Lena had an idea. She sat cross-legged near the plant, closed her eyes, and focused on calm, clear thoughts. She imagined words of understanding, of peace, of curiosity. The plant responded immediately, its glow shifting in gentle waves that matched her intentions. Morrow watched in awe. "It's incredible," he whispered. It's trying to share knowledge with us. The next day, Lena and Morrow experimented further. By focusing on specific questions in their minds, they noticed that the plant seemed to respond with subtle light sequences. They realized it was attempting to convey information about its origin. Slowly, a story emerged not through words, but through patterns and feelings. The glowing plant had not always been alone on Verta. It was created by an ancient alien species who had designed certain plants as teachers and guardians. These plants were meant to guide intelligent life, helping them understand harmony, empathy, and coexistence with nature. Lena's eyes widened as the realization sank in. It was made to teach, she whispered. To help us learn how to live in balance with life. Morrow nodded slowly. That explains why it reacts to emotions, to care, and to harmony. It's not just alive, it's a mentor of sorts, showing us how to connect with nature and with each other. Lena smiled, feeling a mixture of awe and gratitude. They had been given a rare opportunity, to learn from a being that existed beyond ordinary understanding. With this revelation, Lena and Morrow felt a deeper responsibility. The glowing plant was no longer simply a discovery, it was a guide, a teacher, and a guardian. Its wisdom was subtle, communicated through light, movement, and the energy it shared with them. They realized that protecting it was also about learning from it, listening carefully, and respecting its knowledge. That evening, as the first stars appeared above Verta, Lena and Morrow sat beside the plant. Lena placed her hand gently on the glowing leaves. "We're learning from you," she whispered. "And we promise to protect you, to care for you, and to honor what you're teaching us." Morrow added, "The world may not understand yet, but we do. And that's what matters." The plant pulsed brighter, as if acknowledging their words. Its energy spread through the garden, touching every leaf, every bud, every vine. Lena felt a sense of connection deeper than ever before. It was as if the plant was sharing its understanding, showing them the potential of harmony, care, and unity. Over the next few days, Lena and Morrow continued to explore its guidance. They noticed small changes in themselves and the garden. The flowers bloomed more vibrantly, the air felt fresher, and the small creatures of the valley seemed calmer and more confident. The plant's influence was subtle but profound, a reminder that living in harmony could bring strength and beauty to all life. But the revelation also came with a warning. The plant's origin and its purpose were rare and precious. If it were taken or harmed, its knowledge might be lost forever. Lena and Morrow understood that they were its guardians not just by choice, but by necessity. The responsibility weighed on them, but they embraced it with courage and hope. As night fell and the garden shimmered under the glowing plant, Lena whispered, "We have much to learn, and much to protect. But together, we can honor what you've come to teach us." Morrow squeezed her hand gently. "And we will. The garden, the plant, and us, we're connected now. And that connection will help us face whatever comes next." The glowing plant pulsed softly, a warm light that seemed to say, "You understand. You are ready. The future is yours to shape with care and harmony." The hidden garden had grown into a place of wonder and life. Lena and Morrow spent each day tending to the glowing plant, observing its movements, and learning from its subtle guidance. Over time, the garden became more than a secret, it became a sanctuary, a living example of harmony between humans and nature. Lena walked slowly along the soft moss paths, her hand brushing gently against the glowing leaves. She felt a quiet pride and warmth. "Look at how far it has grown," she whispered to Morrow, who followed her with a smile. "It's more than we imagined." Morrow nodded. "And so are we. We've learned patience, care, and understanding because of it. The glowing plant had become the heart of the garden. Its light spread softly over flowers, vines, and trees, filling the space with calm and gentle energy. Animals returned to the area, drawn to the quiet warmth. Birds perched in the trees, insects hummed among the blossoms, and even the small streams seemed to flow more clearly, reflecting the golden glow. The garden thrived under the guidance of Lena, Morrow, and the plant itself. Visitors from nearby settlements began to arrive, quietly at first. They came to learn, to observe, and to experience the harmony of the garden. Lena and Morrow guided them carefully, showing respect for the glowing plant while explaining its significance. The visitors were amazed, not just by the plant's beauty, but by the calm, peaceful energy that seemed to flow through the entire garden. "It's incredible," one visitor said softly. "It feels alive in a way I've never experienced." Lena smiled. "It is alive, and it teaches us something important, that life grows stronger when it is treated with care, patience, and understanding." Morrow added, "The plant shares its energy with the garden, but also with us. We have to be responsible and respectful." Over the months, the garden became known as the Garden of Harmony. People from across Verda came to learn how to live in balance with nature, guided by the glowing plant and the lessons Lena and Morrow had learned. The garden was no longer hidden, but it remained protected and respected. Those who entered understood that this place was special, a living example of cooperation, empathy, and growth. The glowing plant continued to grow, producing more buds and fruits. Each one radiated warmth and subtle energy, reminding everyone that life could be nurtured with care. Lena and Morrow carefully documented its behaviors, but they never interfered with its natural rhythm. They understood that the plant's strength came from trust and connection, not control. One evening, Lena and Morrow sat together beneath the glowing plant. The soft light bathed their faces, and the gentle sway of the leaves filled the air with a sense of calm. "We've created something wonderful," Lena said softly. "But it's not just ours. It belongs to everyone who learns from it." Morrow nodded, squeezing her hand gently. "And it will continue to teach, as long as people remember to care." As time passed, the Garden of Harmony became a center for learning and growth. Children played among the plants, scientists studied without harming, and settlers found a quiet place to reflect. Lena and Morrow watched with joy as the glowing plant inspired curiosity, care, and respect. They realized that humanity's strength lay not just in intelligence or technology, but in empathy, compassion, and the ability to connect with other life forms. One morning, Lena noticed a small group of seedlings near the glowing plant. The buds shimmered faintly, carrying the same warm energy as their parent. "It's spreading," she whispered. Morrow smiled. "Not just in the garden, but in the hearts of everyone who comes here." Lena nodded, feeling hope for the future. The plant's legacy was more than its light, it was the lessons it shared, the bonds it created, and the harmony it inspired. As the sun set over Verda, the garden glowed with soft golden light. Lena and Morrow stood together, holding hands and watching the glowing plant pulse gently. Lena whispered, "We've seen what care and connection can do. We've learned from it, and now it will continue to teach others." Morrow nodded. "This is just the beginning. The future of Verda can be brighter because of what we've protected and learned." The glowing plant shimmered softly, its light spreading across the garden like a gentle wave. It seemed to acknowledge Lena and Morrow, and through them, all those who had come to understand its lessons. Its energy filled the air, the soil, and every leaf with a quiet promise: life, when treated with love and respect, could flourish in ways beyond imagination. And in the Garden of Harmony, under the soft glow of the remarkable plant, humanity found a path to a future where passion, care, and understanding shaped not just gardens, but hearts, communities, and worlds. Lena and Morrow smiled at each other, knowing that they had witnessed and helped create a legacy that would last for generations.